Hi guys! Today we're going to go ahead and make that super simple card. I have my supply, I should say, of birthday cards is getting low, so I want to replenish them. And this card's so easy to make. So we'll go ahead and get started on the card. The first thing you're going to need is Bermuda Bay cardstock, which this was cut at A2 size, so it's 5.5 and folded by 4 1/4. So you just want to go ahead and fold that right in half, and then set that aside. A piece of our watercolor paper, and this paper here comes in a package just like so, and I just took a little piece. I cut it at 3.5 by 3, and I'm going to use our aqua painters for this. And we're going to use 3 different ink colors. We're going to use Daffodil Delight, we're going to use Melon Mambo, and we're going to use Bermuda Bay. Now on my card here, at the beginning here, the yellow I used was the Lemon Lime Twist, but that is currently on back order right now. So if you have the Lemon Lime Twist, you can use that, or just substitute it for a different yellow. So that's what I'm going to do with this next card. So what you want to do is you want to just squeeze your ink pads. Just squeeze them so that it puts some ink on the lid there. And that's what we're going to work with our colors. So you just want to do that to each of your ink pads. And then you're just going to lay them out. And then we're just going to take your aqua painter and your piece of watercolor paper, and you just want to start. And this size, the reason why I cut it this size is because this is the size of the die. It'll fit on here nicely so that there's not a lot of waste on your watercolor paper. So the first color I started with was Melon Mambo, and I just took my aqua painter and squeezed a little bit of water into the Melon Mambo and kind of just swirled it around. You can make it as light or as dark as you want it. The less water, the darker it's going to be. The more water, obviously, the lighter it's going to be. So I just started, and I just kind of went in like a zigzag type motion here. And then you can pick up more color and add it in where you want to. And I did about a little over a quarter or so of the piece of paper. And then we'll go ahead and take your aqua painter, and just off to the side, you can see me doing this. I'm just squeezing it a little, getting the water out until it runs clear. Then you're ready to pick up your next color. So if you wanted to do the Lemon Lime Twist here, this is where I use the Lemon Lime Twist. Or if you don't have that, you can pick up another form of yellow, which I'm using the Daffodil Delight. So I'm just going to add some water again. Just kind of swirl it in there. And then just start kind of going over my pink a little and into the blank piece of watercolor paper here. And again, you can make it as light or as dark as you want. And then, again, just go ahead and rinse off your aqua painter. And then pick up your last color, which is the Bermuda Bay. And I kind of go into the yellow a little to kind of blend it. And sometimes it just depends on your technique. Some people will take the watercolor paper and they'll wet it down first with their aqua painter, just clear. It's up to you. I don't know if there's a difference. I did it both ways. I've done it dry and I've done it with the wet, and I don't see much of a difference, but some people swear by going over it first with water and then adding your color. So your piece of watercolor paper should look something like this. And then just go ahead and clean off your aqua painter. we'll close up our ink pads. Now I don't know if I know I've showed you guys in past videos on how to open and close these, but I'll show you again just in case I have new viewers watching. So the ink pads, the Stampin' Up! Ink pads have the 3 dots in the front, and what you do is you just place your thumb on the 3 dots in the front and you give it a push and it pops right open. And then it slides into place. And then when you're done, you just pull it out, slide it, and just give it a close. Very simple, very easy to use. So we'll go ahead and we'll set those aside. And then we're going to take our water paper and we're just going to let that dry a little bit. So we set that aside to dry, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take our Foil Frenzy paper, which this is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And the Foil Frenzy paper is awesome. It comes in 12 sheets, and they're 12 by 12, and there's one each of 3 different designs with 4 colors on the design. So let me just show you. I've used some of it on different projects, but this is what you'll get. You'll get your dots in there, and there's 4 different colors. And then you get the stripes. Again, 4 different colors of the stripes. And then you get the like chiffon type style. And there's 4 different colors, but I used one of the colors on here. But isn't that so shiny and bright? It's awesome. It adds so much to your cards. So that's the Foil Frenzy paper. That's new. And that is $13 for a package of 12 sheets of that. And the back of that is blank. It's just brown. So, but you don't want to use the back anyways. You want to use the nice shiny side. So we're going to take our card base. We're going to take our Foil Frenzy paper, and we're going to go ahead and just put some glue, some snail adhesive on the back of your Foil Frenzy paper. And then you're going to take the Bermuda Bay ribbon, the mini chiffon ribbon here. You're going to cut a piece of the ribbon, probably about, I don't know, 3 inches or so. And we're going to, you can do it on whichever corner you want. I did it up on the top, upper hand corner there of your card. So you're just going to kind of figure out how you want it here. I did it at an angle, so I like that. So what I'll do is I'll fold it back, and it'll go on your snail adhesive back there, and it'll kind of stick to the snail adhesive. So it looks something like that. And then what I'll do is once I have that on there, I'll just take some more snail adhesive and put it over the ribbons so that it stays on your card. So then what you want to do is just go ahead and attach this to the front of your Bermuda Bay cardstock here, and it'll leave a little border around there. Okay, our watercolor paper is dry enough, so we're going to go ahead and run this through the Big Shot. Now, you can do this 2 different ways. There's this new awesome stuff that Stampin' Up! Has come out with. It comes in, it's multi-purpose adhesive sheets, and there's 12 6 by 12 sheets in here. So what I do is I'll just go ahead and take my watercolored paper. I cut a piece at 3 1/2 by 3, and you just want to peel the backing off, just like so, and then stick your watercolor paper right on top of that. So it's stuck right on the back. And once you run this through your Big Shot, you just peel off the backing and you have, it's already tacky on the back. So if you don't have these, which I highly recommend getting, you can take the liquid Tombow Mono Glue and just put a little dab of it on a scratch piece of paper or on silicone mat. And I took a piece of crafting sponge, and I took a binder clip and just put it on there as the handle. And then I just take this and I just rub it around in the glue and get the glue all spread out. And then just take that glue and just dab it on the back of the happy birthday. And then once I'm done, I just go and rinse this off in the sink, and I just put it in a little baggie and keep it like so. So you can do it that way, or if you have the fine tip glue pen, you can use that. I like the way this works. It gives you a little bit of time before it gets too tacky. So, but that's another option. But this is the best. So we're going to go ahead. We've got our sheet on there, our sticky sheet. We're going to run this through the Big Shot. So I have my die. I keep my dies right in my stamp sets that coordinate with the stamp sets. So I just bought some magnetic vent covers through Home Depot or Lowe's, and they're very inexpensive. I think there's 4 to a pack, and you can get like 3 or 4 strips out of them for the for your stamp sets. So this one I cut small. I just have it on here, and I just leave it right in the stamp set. It goes along with the Happy Birthday Gorgeous. So I always know where they are, and when I pull out the stamp set, I always have the coordinating dies right with it. So we're just going to take this Thinlit die, and we're going to put it onto our Big Shot. So what you want to do is you want to put your Big Shot platform down, your thin die adapter, your plate, and then your paper. So you want to figure out if you want how you want your die to set. And then you're just going to take your other plate, just put it on like that, and then you take your other plate and you just run it through the Big Shot. And what I do is I run it once, I back it up, and then I'm going to run it through again, just because this is thicker paper and it has the glue on the back of it, so I want to make sure it cuts through. So we'll just take our Big Shot and move that right out of the way. Just take your die brush, and I just use it in my hands and kind of just roll it over the back. Kind of just, sometimes it pops right out, sometimes this is helpful because it kind of weakens the stuff inside. So all you're really concerned with is the little pieces. You don't have to worry about getting that white paper off, because you're going to pull this off the back of that anyways. And the die brush does work really well. It's just tough with the paper on there. So, but it's nice because it will get it started if you can't get them started. You can also poke these pieces out with a paper piercer or a pair of tweezers, anything little like that. So once you get all the pieces out of there, like I said, you don't have to worry about that white, because you're just going to pull this off the back. So once you have it all cleaned out, then what you're going to do is you're just going to pull this paper right off the back of here. You just got to get a starting point here. Just be careful when you pull it off. You don't want to rip anything. And then you just want to apply this to the front of your card. Make sure all your little pieces are off. So I'm just going to apply this right here on the front of the card, just like so. So it'll look something like that. So I love how the colors just fade in there, and they're so pretty. So the next thing we're going to do is we're gonna go ahead and get our glitter enamel dots right here through Stampin' Up. These are new. These are pretty awesome little dots here. You can see they've got glitter all in them. So I used the yellow ones to kind of pull the yellow from the card. The blues will work, the pinks will work, whichever ones you want. So I just took a darker one and kind of put it right on top of my ribbon. And then I moved down and took a lighter one. And then another light one here. Just like so. So that's the front of the card. I don't think it needs much more. I think it's just perfect the way it is. So then the inside of the card, you can leave it blank. Or what I like to do is I like to cut a piece of white cardstock and then decorate the inside of the card. So I just cut this cardstock at 5 by 3 3/4. So we're just going to take our white piece of cardstock, and I'm going to use the sentiment "It's Your Day" on the inside. This comes with a bunch of nice little party sentiments with it, so you could use any of those. And I'm going to stamp this with basic black. And I'm just going to stamp it right in the center. Just like so. Then I took the stem of a flower, and I used garden green. And I just took and stamped one in that corner, and then this one I kind of angled out a little, just like so. Then I'm going to use this flower and that flower in this stamp set, if you can see those two right there, and right that little rose flower. And I'm going to use the solid portion, and I'm going to use the color Powdered Pink, our new color. And I'm just going to stamp that on the stem, just like so. So that looks like that. And then we're going to take the other portion of that stamp, and we're going to use Melon Mambo, and we're going to stamp right over the top of that. Kind of just line it up as best as you can. It's pretty easy to line up, and if it doesn't line up perfectly, it's completely fine. So that's what the inside says. And then you have space in there to write for whoever you'd like to give it to. So once we have that all stamped, like so, we're just going to take our snail adhesive and put that right on the inside of your card. I always, when I do my snail adhesive, I always like to do the edges and then just a little bit in the center. And just make sure when you're putting on your inside of your card that you're not putting it on upside down or anything. So I always try to, I'm very terrible at putting stuff on backwards or upside down. So I always have to double, triple check my stuff. So this is the card, very simple, very pretty card. And again, it's using the Happy Birthday Gorgeous stamp set and the Happy Birthday Thinlit die. The Thinlit is $20, the stamp set is $21, and if you buy it in the bundle, it's $36.75. So again, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.